well, let's get started here. We're gonna go to this air box here, and pretty much you got to remove this bolt here, this bolt here. Those are 10 millimeters. Then you got these clips. If you want to take the filter out and kind of inspect it, well, you got these clips on the side. You got one right here. You got one right there. You got one right here. And then one there. And then the other one there. So pretty much that's what you got to remove the intake air box for now. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So alright. Of course, you got these clips over here. You got to take off. So basically, you just pry that out. Usually use your fingers or a flathead. It works too. There you go. And then this whole thing can come out. Show you here. Alright, so basically we'll have to take off this cover here. We'll also have to remove this piece here, this filter, and there's going to be some torque bolts right in here, right alongside there. We got to take that off in order to take off this piece. So then we can go after the second bolt that covers that. That's down there. So then after that, we can see the bolts that actually takes off this intake manifold. So I got to get that going. So all right here. Alright guys, this is a little bit better view. So basically you just want to take this off here. You want to take off your filter. Pretty much this is a filter that needs to be changed. I'll be getting that in the mail soon. So that's in the works. And then if you didn't see, this is pretty much a spring-loaded piece here. That goes pretty much into there. And so then the spring piece just goes through and then it locks underneath like that. So there's only 3 of them. Just pretty much take that off. And this is what your this is what was left here. You couldn't see it in my other camera, but I'm using this other one here. There's 4 torques there. Pretty much we'll be looking for a T30. Fits right up in there. Alright. So we're taking all 4 of those out. Alright, so we got the 4 bolts out. See there. And then pretty much as we come out, then you gotta take these out. This needs to come off. Take all that out. It comes out. You gotta take those wires out of there. It was right in there. So they got caught, so you have to kind of take them out in order to take this off. And then now you have access pretty much to that bolt there. And then we'll get to taking that part off. Taking off this 10 bolt. Now you can remove this here. And now you're able to see down in there. And there was the bolts. Now take off this intake manifold off. Alright, so this is going to be challenging. So, alright guys, hold on a sec. Alright guys, so apparently this intake manifold has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then like 7 right there. So as you can tell, that's they're pretty deep in there. So you know, I'm always using an extender for these cars, so everything's pretty deep. So I'm using a 7/16. So that's pretty much the size. Alright, so down to that bolt there. Just want to remind you guys that, you know, you want to kind of take off anything that's hooked onto this intake manifold. So, like, you know, kind of like this plug here, you know, that's coming from the injectors. Things like this, you don't have to, you know, but just know that the injectors are hooked onto the intake manifold. So any like wires like this, you might have to take off. So we'll be going through that together. And then just know there's also stuff under here that you have to be concerned about, because everything's kind of bolted down there too. So slowly but surely this is all going to come apart, but just kind of, you know, have patience. Don't, you know, don't rush it. Take your time, but you know, be efficient too. So all right, so still taking off bolts. Trying to get at the last bolt here. I can see it. I don't know if I can get in there like here. I don't know. This is a bit tricky. Hold on a sec. I need both of my hands here. And then if you ever lose any bolts down under, just use one of these magnet things. They help a lot. So basically, I unscrewed everything. They're all still there. I had to pick one up, and then I just picked it up like that, and it came out, and I saved it there. So basically, I'm going out for my second one here. You know, and then it just comes out just like that. So, and then I'm just gonna do it to every single one of those until I get all of them out. Alright guys, so I had to slow down and had to take out my ratchets here. So in order to get this done, so I had to use the same extension with a angle adapter that goes into the 7/16 socket that's down there. So there's a quite angle due to the fact that this part here is essentially hitting the breaker or the extension here, so it's at an angle. So I am now turning it, and it came out, you guys. So there you go, making progress. Alright you guys, so basically what I've done is to take this purge valve here. It was up here, okay. This plug was here, so basically it has one of these spring-loaded clips here. So basically you pop that off, you pop this off, okay. And then there was this other piece that was hooked onto it. Let me find it. Was this piece here. You gotta take that off. And then there was this sensor here for the coolant sensor. Basically, you take that off of there with the spring-loaded thing there, and then you have to very carefully get up in here and take off these metal clips as much as possible. I was using this little pick tool here to get up in there and try to just nudge these to the side, and just to make sure everything gets unhooked for each one. This one actually fell, so I picked it up and recovered it there. So this is what they look like, if you're wondering. Basically that's the clip, and it just clips to the side there, and then that's what goes around those connectors right around here. They do come off, so be careful you don't drop them. And then you're supposed to take off this whole piece. So that's what I've been working on there. And also this power cable is coming from the starter, so you're gonna have to take that off because it actually runs through the intake manifold. Also there's this hose here. It's a vacuum hose that you got to take off. It's really easy to slide off. That runs all the way around here and comes off with this. And then next I have to take off this boot, which I'll have to just take it off by either an 8 or a flat-headed screwdriver. Take both those off, get down to my throttle body down there. I'll also remove this off of here, just in case. But you know, it's slowly coming along. So all right, so I'm just gonna lift this up here. Go. All the clips pretty much are all there. The other one's pretty much stuck on there, as you can see. And then the other one here should probably come off too here. You don't have to take off this, so you can always leave that on. Do take off this. This is your CCV valve, so take that off there. It's oily, so you know, just got to take it off little by little, and you'll get there eventually. And then there's going to be another bolt where the intake where the throttle body's at. So that's going to be one of the last bolts I have to take off in order to remove this intake manifold. But yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to remove this here. I basically unloosen this here. All you have to do now is to take this off this elbow. This first boot will come off. That's where the MAF sensor is at. So you got that part off. And the next part you have to try to get in here and see you can get into those bolts there. You know, this one you have to worry about too much, but that one is going to be a little tough. And some other ones there somewhere. But yeah, pretty much all this has to come out, so. Alright guys, so before we tackle this part here, we gotta get rid of this part here. So by doing so, we gotta take off this sensor here, and then come down here and take off that bolt there. You can see that bolt there. I took an Allen off of there for the sole purpose of to see if that will come out. And then if you take off the purge valve, then you're able to get out this bolt here. Alright, so we're going to do that now. Alright guys, now that I took those screws out, as you can see, they're took that one out, and this one was coming out. Alright, so got that out of there. That's what those look like there, you guys. Yep. So that was a T40. So I got those two out of there, and then this thing can just pop off of there like that. Just pretty much move it like this, and it'll pop out. So, oh my goodness. Ugh. And that completely comes out of there. Okay. So now, you can see we're getting closer. So now we can probably get at this one. That screw there. Alright, so just gotta keep taking things off. Pretty sure I'll have to take off this here and some more of these plugs here, and just continue on through until I get to this piece here. And there's going to be one last bolt down there. So, alright guys, so this piece right here was right in there, okay? As you can see, I had it right in here. It was giving me a lot of trouble. I finally took this piece off here. It was in there. And then I unclipped this part. And then all you have to do to take this part off, it took me forever, but I got it. You take one of the flatheads here, you go right in here, and then you start prying, and then you move this as you're prying. So then this actually then wiggles out, and then you remove it. All right, so basically there's just two inlets there, and it was pretty much going into that part right there. So now I can actually get in and remove that screw there to take off the final boot. So there's that. I'm glad that came off. Now this process is going to be a lot easier. I can actually get it at my intake manifold there, throttle body. I can get to my throttle body right here. There's 4 screws there. Looks like they're 10 bolts. And then there's another piece here I had to take off this boot. So another clamp there, 4 bolts here. And then I got to unclip something down there. So then I can actually reach that final bolt down there, so then all this can come out. Yeah, so things are looking good here, making progress. So alright guys, so the best tool to use is something like this, relatively long. You can actually just get down there and then get to the screw there, and then just keep turning until it gets really loose. And then once you got that done, just pretty much just take this off like that. And there's the secondary boot. Alright, now we're getting a little deeper in here, so now we gotta just tackle the these 4 bolts. There's one there, one over there, one down here, and another one there. Take off the throttle body, and then just keep working away here, and just keep getting down until you get to that last bolt down there, and then this whole thing will come off. So, alright, here we go. There's 4 bolts that look like this here. They were pretty much in there. So I took all 4 of them out. They all look like this. So, and then it was a 10 millimeter to take them out. So, got that out. Now I'm sure I'm able to take this out. But there is a couple things down here that I'm going to take off. So, it's almost out of there, guys. Alright guys, so I'm slowly but surely getting it. There was just a 10 nut that was holding the bracket right into there. It's this bracket here, pretty much, that was keeping me from taking this out. Apparently, I also got to remove this plug in order to take that out of there. So I'll be doing that now. Of course, I might need both of my hands here. Alright, so the plug is off, and pretty much it was just pretty easy. I just had to hold this down and then pop it right off. So now you can actually take away your intake manifold's throttle body. So, yep, just gotta get cleaned a little bit. So I'll clean that before I put it back on.
Hey, I'm gonna have a video.
Alright guys, so that was my daughter. So then if you notice that your throttle body's dirty, go buy yourself a throttle body air intake cleaner here. Just make sure you clean it out. This side looks kind of clean, but when you flip it over, it's pretty dirty. So I'll be cleaning this out here. Alright. So the difference there. Much better. Yeah, so make sure you clean your throttle body, guys, because you won't regret it. Just make sure you don't take it all apart or anything, because these are all calibrated. But by cleaning it like this, you're not doing anything to it. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Nothing to it. Cool. Alright. There you have it. See that right there? That pretty much loosens up the bottom. Okay, so you can see I already kind of took it off. Once I took that off, there was 2 more screws I didn't see here. There's another screw there and another one right there. So there's double there and double here. So in total of 7, 8, 9 nuts that you have to take off of the intake manifold. And then I took off the power cable off of there. Took the power cable off of there. And I took this off of here. Pretty much wiggled this out of there. So now it's just a matter of taking this completely off, and what else, other connections I have to take off. So yeah, pretty much it was a 16 bolt that you had to take out. It looked like this here, and it was down there. So I took that out of there. This was like a 3/4. Take that out of there. And then your 7/16 to get those bolts out of there. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much ready to come off. I pretty much took everything off of here already. I'm sure there's some more connections here is why I can't take this off just yet. So we're getting her done, guys. Alright guys, so basically I was looking under here. I got a little further in. As you can tell, I got the intake manifold pretty high up now due to the fact that I've been trying to deal with this part here. Okay. As you can see, there's this part right there. And it was connected to this hose right here. See that right there was connected underneath right to there, so it was keeping me from popping this up. So now that I got this popped up, gotta work on trying to get it out of over there. So there's my starter. I'll be removing that as well and putting in a new one. I got some new gaskets coming in, so I'll be changing those out too. So I'll be also cleaning this motor up a little bit, trying to get that nice and clean, so when I put things on, it'll be good to go. Alright, so alright guys, so basically this power cable that comes from the starter down there, it was technically all around here. It has a passway, so basically I took that out of there, so it's out of the way, so when I take off the intake manifold, you can take it off. So basically the hard part on this part was taking off the fuel line. It's basically this piece here going down, and then you get to see that it got connected to a fuel line, and it was this one here. And then all you have to do is just push down on this. See how it's kind of like spring loaded? It pops right out. I used both of my thumbs and it went downwards. You kind of have to go, the whole thing got to go downwards, and then it pops right off. That was the easiest way to do it for me. So now I'm almost there. There's the starter there, and it's got a few more things here to take out, and this whole thing will be removed, you guys. Ugh. All right. There was a zip tie stuck to this part here. It was wrapped around there. So that zip tie was connected to these wires there. That's the fuel line I was telling you about. That is spring loaded. That connected into here. Okay. And then this here popped off due to these it's getting old, so I'll have to replace that too. And then there was a hose right there. I believe that was a hose that I told you to take off right here, which you don't have to now that you took it off of there. That's pretty much where it went. And this part here went to that piece right there. So I got to take those out. Now the only thing that's holding it together is just this piece here. Obviously, if you need to take this off, you have to break these those clamps off in order to take that out of there. It's just a vacuum hose. But yeah, here is the starter. I'm gonna take a reading because my car ain't starting. I think it's because of my starter. So I'm gonna just do some reading here with the voltmeter and kind of check out why my car is not starting. So, alright guys, so next I'm going to take out the starter here, and I hooked it from there so there's no power going to the starter, just for safety. And then it's about a ½ inch. Take that off of there. Okay. And it has a washer. And then this is a power cable from the alternator. Okay. Put that somewhere. And then power cable from that line here. See, take that there. Now that whole thing is off. And then you got these other cables here. One's the EWS and one's from your engine computer. You gotta take them both off. And then of course you got a bolt back here. And it's like a Torx, but more of a like a, let's see here if I can show you guys. It's a regular bolt and the Torx. Okay. Right. So I gotta take off these two little wires there. Alright, so I finally took that one out of there. That was an 8mm. It was really small, so it came with a little washer too, so watch out for those. But it's a really small one there. Finally took that one out, and then that's that one, and then down here is it's a 10mm. So 10, 8, and then what was that? Oh, a ½ inch. So this is a 10 here. That's 8. That's the 10. So, washer and all. Let's see there. Okay. And that's off now. All that's off. Oh, just gotta take off the bolts. Pretty much they're on the opposite side, so you kind of have to have a ratchet like this here that actually bends all the way, you know, so then you can actually work this way. So you'll be behind there trying to take that off, and I'll see which bolts is which back there. It seems like I got two different ones. So all right, so guys, this is pretty much how I have it. I have one bolt there, and then I'll have another bolt down there, right there. That is actually like a inverted Torx, so you have to get something that looks like this here. Yep, I got this at Harbor Freight. It was pretty cheap, so they give you all 7 pieces here. So I'm thinking probably it's gonna be number 12, E12 they call it. And then I got a 14 in there, going on a 1/4 inch ratchet. So basically you'll be going this way towards the driver's side to knock her loose. So it's gonna be kind of tough. Might need to use like a breaker bar or something. But once that's done, you can actually take that out. Alright, so basically I have like my crescent wrench right there, and for my breaker bar. So this is a pretty cool way to doing this. If you don't have a breaker bar, all you have to do is do this here, and it's actually doing it. So it was pretty tough at first, but it released, so that's a good way of doing it. So hopefully it's the same way on the other side. Alright, so again, you guys, I was back there with the E12. I had to get an adapter to my 1/4 inch drive so I can fit the 3/4 inch drive. So, yep, this is what that screw looked like. Had the I had to take that out, plus this other size. I don't know if that's was there before, but I do have a Napa starter in here, so it says it's remanufactured. So it did say it was from 2000, either 13 or 15. I can't really read that last digit there, but it's about 3 to 5 years old, so it might be my starter that's bad, but I'm gonna change it anyways because I got a new one. So now that I got those 2 bolts out, I think it should be able to come out of there. I know it's being held by this pin here. Pin in between here. And then I'm gonna go get this thing tested, probably at Napa, once I get this out of here. Alright, so apparently you just might have to get a flathead to it. Alright guys, so here is my new starter. I had to put a new, I had to take the old dowel pin here and put it into this one here. It stayed stuck on the old starter, so got to put that back in here, well aligned, and then hook everything back up in here. You know, of course, got to put those bolts back in there too. So just got to put everything back together now. So that's pretty much how you take out the starter. And alright guys, just warming up the garage now. I'm gonna install my new gasket. There's my new gasket. I'm gonna put that on, warming it up. A little cold in here, but this will do it. Got my propane. Yep, we're getting her done. So we're gonna take this gasket out here. As you can see, it's a worn, you know. So it's like I have about over 195,000 miles on my motor, so it's a good idea to just change these out and don't reuse them, because you don't want to end up with a vacuum leak. So they recommend you to change these out, just because it gets hard and stiff, and then they won't go onto your the head of your engine here, and you'll get like a vacuum leak. So I just gotta take these out one by one. Looks like it's been on here for a while, so it's giving me a little bit of a hard time. So it's a good idea just to change them out. These are my new ones here, but yeah, so I'm gonna keep tugging along here and hopefully get these out, and I'll show you how to install them. Alright guys, so pretty much I took that first one off. It took me about maybe like 5 minutes, did it all with my fingers. So I'm gonna go after the second one here, but I just wanted to show you guys that brand that I got offline. That's it's not BMW, but it's come close. I'm just taking a peek here and just kind of checking these out now. But yeah, they look identical. I mean, I think this is actually gonna work. It cost me a whole lot less than the original BMW one. So again, the link is down below, so if you guys want to check this out, I'm rating like a good product, you guys, so you have none to worry about. So I'm gonna put this on, and I'll show you guys how it looks. All right. So as I'm doing this, you guys, these are pretty easy to come off. It's not too bad. I've been trying to do this with my fingers, like I said, but you know, with the aging and everything, hot and cold and all that stuff, they're not too bad. But again, always try to replace these. You know, they're a bit stiff. They're stiffer than these here, so definitely that's what happens when they get older. They get a little stiffer, kind of like aging, like how we do as humans. So, okay, well, there's that. So now it's time to install it. All right, well, there they are. Looking good. Went on really easy. It looks like it holds on pretty good. I feel like it's OEM quality pretty much. Whatever that feels like. I think this is a good purchase, you guys, so I'll go back on there and review it. I mean, you can kind of see how much sticks out of there. It's a really good chunk. So, I mean, so definitely it's going to stick on really good. And the material on here is incredible, so you don't have to worry about, you know, coming out. You squeeze it on there, so I can already tell I've been doing this for many years, so I can tell a good gasket from a bad gasket by now, so trust that. So now these are the old ones, don't need those anymore, got that looking good. Next thing is I'm going to be doing this crankcase valve ventilator, whatever, CCV hoses. There's many of them on here. It all goes onto the intake manifold. So pretty much nothing is really screwed on. Everything is pretty much just pops in there. So this is a one that I got offline. So we'll see how everything fits. I'm planning, hopefully it fits really nice. I read one review that said that the guy said it fixed perfectly. So again, this is not original BMW CCV. I got this offline. I'll, again, there's the links down below. So that's where I got it. So I'm going to go ahead and just replace them. I know this is one of them. That's the pump right there. And I know I got one on top up here. This one, as you can tell, it's so old that it's like disintegrating here. But yeah, and you can see how it turns into dust. And then the other ones are pretty, it's kind of like foam, you know. So it's about time to change that. And another tip here, get some of this stuff, you guys. It cost me like $5 at Napa. It's vacuum hose. Pretty much you want to make sure you change out all these hoses that comes out of the intake manifold. I did all this here. Just cut them to length pretty much. And then, you know, did this one, that one back here, this one that comes from that inlet here. You can see that. And then I did the one that's back here. That goes into this canister there. And then this one here goes into this part here. Okay, and then again this one that's back there goes to that canister back over here, and then there's one that comes from this canister into another part here. And then you also got what I did also is this one here. There's that one. And then all the way down this way, it's like a hard line that goes all the way around. Not that hard, but more of a plastic part of the line here. You can see that's different than the hose itself. So that's another thing to take note, that you don't have to replace this part. It's only these pieces here. So I only bought the 6-inch tubing to replace pretty much all the hoses, and there's still more left over here. So as long as you measure correctly, I think you should be fine. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know about that. So if you're gonna do this kind of work, be sure to do that because you don't want any vacuum hoses leaking on you. I mean, you can check out all my other ones here. They were overstretched, as you can tell. The one I was, my main concern was this one I had to like rip out because it was just on there pretty good. But I was looking at this one. This one is actually came off of here since it has a hard turn, but I noticed that there was a leak, little rip in the tube, and it didn't give me any code or anything, but I can tell that it needed to be changed. So I just pretty much changed anything that looked about that size, and I did, and thankfully I did, because now I'm not worried about vacuum leaks and then, you know, then you gotta like dig in deep to try to get those out, and it's just a hassle when you're dealing with this kind of work because you don't have enough room to work with, especially how the intake manifold's made. So I want to give you guys that nice tip before you put everything on. I know it's a little more of a hassle. I know you want to put everything back on really fast, but take your time, you guys, because in the long run, you'll notice that your car will run a lot longer versus trying to take this thing in and out many times. So do it once and do it right. Alright guys, this is the first part of the CVV hose that I'm changing. It's right on top of the intake manifold. I just wanted to do the one I see first, I say. So pretty much just gotta get up in there and change that to put this one in. You can tell there's the foam, and it's a lot better than this thing. It's just super hard. But yeah, pretty much just gotta squeeze this part together. And it's probably gonna fight a little bit since it's been on here for a while, so to be expected. Alright, I'll show you how to do this once I take it out, just because I want to use both of my hands. And yeah, alright guys. Okay, so pretty much I got it out. That's what that looks like there when it's out. Alright, it's held by this little nudge right there. It's held there. And then I kind of had to break it right there in half so I can like bend them back in order to flex this thing back. So, yep, that's the old one. And then here was tricky. And by the way, I was using like a long flathead like this just to get in there. And I was in here like that. So underneath here, I'm just trying to get it all together. And plus I was using my other hand to take it out. So as long as you got one of these, nice skinny one here. And then what I did here is I poked it in right in there. Right there. Just poking that in. Do like that. And then underneath here, you have to go in there like that too. And then once you got that, you start pretty much wiggling this thing out of here. And then it pops out. And that's what that looks like there. So then this thing is out of here. Good crap. And then to install a new one. Alright. So there we go. Nice and installed. I was a little uneasy just because I knew these weren't BMW, but boy, it snapped in really nice. I'm already liking it already. So just again, these are all plastic parts, so I recommend you know, doing this when it's kind of warm. But it all snapped in just nicely. It kind of scared me on this side because I thought I broke it. But I got it in. I just had to push it in a little harder because it kept on popping out. So fear is over. All right, so that's just one of them. I still got 1, 2, 3, and the fourth piece. So 1 out of 5 is good at least. So off to the next, you guys. Let's see what I'm gonna do here. Alright guys, now for the next one I want to tackle is this one here. This one's not on the manifold. This would will be the one right in here. All the way down by where your dipstick is at. You follow that all the way down and you see this one here. I noticed there was some oil there, so I'm thinking it could, that's where my leak was coming from, I believe. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and change that out. So it's not clamped down or anything. Pretty much that's how much is in there. So that looks like there. That's pretty much gotta pull that out of there and take that one out so I can put this new one in. So it's gonna be somewhat of a fight. I can already tell you that. And then off to the next ones. Okay, so that's what that looks like there when it's out. No fight at all since it was oily already. But pretty much to show you how close these things are. You know, this brand is pretty good. I don't know if you want to consider maybe taking this foam off and put it on that one, but you know, this is just some type of braiding on there. But it's just a rubber hose. That's all it is, really. But I'm sure it's been stretched out, and you know, hot and cold climate's been taking effect to it. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna try to put this one on now. All right, so I took off the rubber or the coatings on these, the foam and the braiding. So, but I just wanted to show you that how close it compared to the other one is. They're pretty much the same thickness there. But you can tell that the hose here was a little bit bigger than the other, so that one's stretched out. So I'm pretty sure oil was leaking through there, especially being closer to the engine there with the oil and all that. So, all right, guys. So I put on the lower CCV hose here. So basically, what I did here, originally, I guess BMW doesn't put any zip ties here, and I did notice that it was leaking down here with the old hose. So what I decided to do is put 2 zip ties on here so that it will prevent that from happening in the future. So that's a good tip. All right, so that's that one there. And all the other stuff I put on, this is the CCV or CVV hose. And that's the other one here. And then the other one is right here. So those are all good. I didn't have to change those out. It looks super durable still. These are the strongest ones. The ones that are pretty much the weakest ones is this one down here. This one up here. It's usually the bad ones. This one seemed to be good. Cleaned it all out. Cleaned that out. And this one's pretty good. There's no leak there, obviously, and it's pretty sealed. So, all right. So the other ones I just kind of left them there just in case. Didn't need them. Don't forget about this guy right here. There's a little hose here that you want to change out too on the plastic piece here, and this goes to your secondary boot, lower boots here. So you want to change that out. That was pretty bad too. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Just gonna put it all back together now. So, alright guys, well thanks for watching. Hopefully this was all helpful. And stay tuned for more. Subscribe please. I'll be having more DIYs and tutorials, reviews, just pretty much everything all in general on this channel. So keep smiling and nodding. Hit the like button, subscribe, and you guys have a good day. See ya.